It's our pleasure to welcome on star of CBS's Life in Pieces. You've seen him in The House Bunny, Orange County. He was nominated for an Emmy and Critics' Choice Award for his role in Fargo. You've seen him in Dexter, Band of Brothers. The guy has done everything, and he's an avid sports fan. Colin Hanks joins us in studio, and you can watch the simulcast at watchda.com. Colin, good morning.
How's it going, man?
It's doing great, man. How you doing?
Good. I wish I could just have you walk around all the time, so anytime I enter a room, I get that kind of an intro.
I will be happy to do so if you need, at least here in New York.
I will never be that one guy from that one thing that I think I saw that one time. That's fantastic. Thank you for the kind, warm words.
You got it. How many times you walk into a Starbucks and somebody goes, "You're that one guy from that one thing I saw one time."
You'd be surprised.
Yeah.
Quite a few times. That, and then they go, "Oh, all right, I've got a coffee for Colin." Yeah, so there you go.
You're a big sports fan. Did you watch the World Series last night? You tweeted about it.
I did, yeah. No, I was able to catch, I think, probably like the last 4 innings. Yeah, I watched. I'm a Giants fan, so I had a vested interest in last night's
a San Francisco
game.
Giants fan, so
Correct.
you were loving the fact that the Dodgers went down at home.
And they lost to a team wearing orange. That's
Love
always
it.
a good thing. So I'll take that. Although I am a little bit heartbroken for all my Dodgers friends. My friends that support the Dodgers, but I'm very happy to see them lose.
How did you celebrate 3 World Series championships for the Giants?
Well, the first one in 2010, I was
Lampshade
there.
on your head. Oh, you were there.
I was there.
Okay.
I went to all 3 games in Dallas. And then the other 2, I was able to go to a World Series game each time that they were in. And then the other 2, I just went hog wild, jumping up and down.
So did you get to go to any of the parades?
No parades for me. No, I was invited to go to one of the parades, but it's hard because it's always like Halloween time, and I got kids. So the wife said, if you want to go to a game, that's fine, but if you think I'm letting you go to a parade, you are out of your mind.
What's the better Halloween trick-or-treat night, when you're a kid trick-or-treating or taking your kids trick-or-treating?
I would say actually taking your kids trick-or-treating. I actually enjoy that so much, provided the neighborhood's good and they get into the spirit. But, yeah, I mean, I love Halloween. Halloween was one of my absolute favorites growing up. But I actually enjoy it more because I get to embarrass the kids, too.
Sweet.
Which is pretty fun.
Definitely. Absolutely. That's the key here. Colin Hanks joins us in studio. Was your dad the type of dad that would bring you out trick-or-treating and dress up? And can you leave at the curb? Okay, we'll take you to the houses, or was that your mom?
No, it was more my mom. I mean, being a child of the growing up in the 80s, was a childhood of divorce, and so I was never in L.A. with my dad on Halloween. Not until I went off to college, and at that point, I'm not really like running around. Well, actually, I was running around trying to get candy. That never really stops. But really, I mean, I have more memories of, the parents coming around every now and again and sort of help me out. But really, a majority of the Halloweens I remember is just like, okay, we're leaving, bye.
Sure.
And we go out and, wreak havoc.
As a fellow child of the 80s, I was constantly bombarded from my teachers and my parents about checking my candy for razor blades. And in retrospect,
I never understood that.
This seems so ridiculous.
I never understood. Who is going to take the time to put razor blade in? And
like
by the way,
100 candies.
In 100 candies, and find a candy big enough to put a razor blade
and spend the money on that candy.
Because I also, in my brain, I didn't remember a lot of single razors when I was a kid. Because at that point, it was all like the plastic Bics were like the way to go.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, there was something confusing. I'm like, how are they going to fit like a big razor blade, like a big plastic orange thing into candy? How am I not going to see that?
They're baking it into muffins.
Yeah, I thought that was so weird. I want to know how that started. That's a good urban legend.
Well, I think our childhoods were earmarked by the PSAs, The More You Know, and the special episodes of things like Different Strokes,
of course,
where there's always, you have to learn about strangers and creepy guys and bad things that could happen. And so there was always this kind of drugs are bad, don't do drugs, just say no. There's a lot of paranoia in our childhood.
There was. Turns out they were right about the drug stuff. They weren't right about the razor blades and the candy, though.
Colin Hanks joins us here in studio. I saw your Instagram. You actually tweeted this summer or posted this summer of a cassette that I think you picked up of multiple songs from Steven Seagal films and soundtracks, which I thought was amazing.
Yes.
Number one, do you have a cassette player?
No.
Number two, what drew you to that cassette?
Okay, so I have a very good friend of mine. We're big vinyl junkies. So he came out to L.A. He lives out in Texas, and he's like, hey, do you want to go record shopping? And normally that's a solo venture for me, but I was just so relieved to be going out with someone. And so we hit up probably about maybe 10 stores throughout the course of a day. And we were talking about how even though, vinyl has made this big comeback, but even though that vinyl sort of seems like this old, thing, cassettes are now starting to come back.
Speaking
And
of the
come
80s.
back big
Yeah.
too. So you've got all these bands that are making demos on cassettes, and they only put it on cassette, so it can't be there's not a CD, it's not an MP3, that's the only way that you can hear it. And I was laughing, and we went to this one shop that had a really impressive collection of cassette tapes, and I was traveling back in time, and I'm going through the rack, and there was a Steven Seagal cassette tape that side A was all of the hits from his first 3 movies.
This is an astounding compilation of music.
But then side B was an interview with Steven Seagal.
On cassette.
On cassette. And I was
Unreal.
like, I want to buy this, but I don't have a cassette player. My friend Thad's like, I've got a cassette player. I'm buying it. So I bought him the Steven Seagal cassette.
That is so great.
Yeah.
That is so great. So your CBS hit Life in Pieces returns for its 3rd season, and it starts actually tonight at 9:30 until 10 Eastern Time and Pacific. In New York, we got the Jets and Bills game coming up tonight, so it's going to air on sister station WLNY 55. It's the 3rd season premiere. You've gotten so many accolades, and people seem to love this series. That's got to be pretty cool to hear that what you're doing is so well received.
Yeah, I mean, it's rare. It doesn't happen very often, and I've been doing this long enough to know that when it does happen, it's pretty special. No, I mean, I've been incredibly fortunate. I've had a very good run, probably the last 4 years, coming out of Fargo and going into Life in Pieces, and then, doing my documentary films on the side, So I've definitely been burning the candle at both ends, but what's been really exciting for me is, as hard as I've been working, and I say that, relatively speaking, it's not hard physical labor, but we are waking up early, trying to entertain people.
Grind it out.
Yeah, got to grind it out. As hard as we're working, people have been enjoying the work. People have been enjoying the stuff that I do, and we've got a bunch of really, really funny episodes coming up this summer on Life in Pieces, and I think anyone who is a fan of the show, I think, is going to be really entertained. And then, there are still, I think, a bunch of people that haven't seen the show yet. And that's the one thing I love about our show. It's really just a party. It doesn't matter when you get there, as long as you dance. It's all that matters.
I'm telling you. And I think what's so cool about your career is all the stuff you've done is pretty smart. It feels like you choose really smart things to do. There's a lot of actors, because a lot of things don't hit, that will just try to chase a lot of stuff that might hit and might not hit. Seems like you're pretty selective in what you do, and this is one of those projects.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely, for sure. I mean, if I don't want to get out of bed to go do it, then it's probably not worth doing. And not necessarily, I don't recommend this approach to a lot of people, because there were some lean years there that were pretty frustrating and hard and difficult. But like I said, when you're able to get a good run in, and you're able to get on a well-written show that's got an amazing cast, and you're able to get to that 3rd year, that's special. That's really not something to take for granted.
I didn't want to spring this upon you before we let you go, but I will, because I feel like we got a good vibe going on here.
All right.
Your brother's an amazing rapper, and I was wondering if you would read a verse of his lyrics.
Oh, wow.
We've got a beat for you. And
no, I won't do it with the beat, but I'll just read it.
Okay, maybe like a
I'll do
poetry jam.
Yeah, poetry read.
Okay, yeah,
Poetry
just,
read.
That's the first part of them. This is a clean lyric.
Yeah, this is the realest it get, man. It's Chet Hayes, easy riding with the homies, like the cess blades. Rarely get stressed, but when I do, the stress pays. Grace under pressure for the record. I'm the next craze. There you go.
Not bad.
Hey, man.
That's cool.
You know, I could read some of these other lyrics that you don't have highlighted.
No, I don't.
Would you? Let's do that. How about I put you guys on blast for a quick second? I'd get to this commercial real quick because it's about to get real spicy here. You got any sponsors you want to throw out too? You know? Okay.
That's fantastic. Life in Pieces returns for its third season tonight, 9:30 Eastern, 9:30 Pacific. And the third season premiere coming up tonight, the Bad Egg Settlement Unsinking Pacifier. That's pretty wordy.
Well, every story has one word.
Yeah.
So that's every title is just one word in the story.
Gotta love it.
Yeah.
Colin Hanks, this is very, very cool, man. Thanks so much for dropping on by.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man.